To me, woman empowerment, well, accepting this term is itself a little problematic because that's when you accept patriarchy. Because why do you need women in particular to be empowered? It says that first you accept the rule that women are not empowered, women are not equal. That's when the question of empowerment comes, right? So, but to me, I think it needs to start at the very beginning because when you are raising a kid, when you have a son and you have a daughter, so the kind of games that you choose for them to play with, there lies the seed. Because if you keep on giving your daughter things like dolls and Khalnavatis and stuff, and give your boy with all the guns and the cars so you're setting a stereotype right at the beginning of their when they don't understand the idea of gender or anything. It's what you teach them. So that the moment you're choosing the toys or choosing the kind of clothes that you want to make them wear, or telling them what to do and what not to, telling your son that boys don't cry, whereas patting the back of your daughter when she's crying, it's like from those early days, I think the discrimination is set. So when a boy grows up in that kind of an upbringing, or when a girl grows up, so if she's told from very early days that her destination is her in-laws' place, she has to leave her father's home. That way, from very early on, we girls have a sense of rootlessness. We don't have a home which we can call our own, because we know from the very beginning that we have to leave our father's home and we have to call a stranger's home as our own home. And in our childhood only we can figure out that when I'm born in this place, if I can't call this my home, so there's very little chance that I'll get to my in-laws' place and call that as my home. It's very difficult, So you know that you have no place to really fall back on, or you can call your own. But still, you are expected to be dedicatedly serve your homes. You sacrifice so many things and do this for your home and make your husband happy, make your in-laws happy, make your children happy, and they also grow up, and then you suddenly see that there is no one beside you, but you have sacrificed all your life for everybody else's well-being and stuff like that. So these are very stereotypical, every day, every moment we are fighting stereotypes. It's more than injustice, it's the stereotypes that we have built and we staunchly believe in. And it's like, culturally it's so woven in our traditions that it's very difficult to break those stereotypes. Often you're like stared at and people look at you with the dubious, like, what is she talking about? Why is she bringing complexity in everything? But this politics of patriarchy, it lies in its very small details of our everyday lives. I mean, how our moms would talk and how our fathers are expected to talk, how our brothers are supposed to behave in a certain situation, and how we, as their sisters, are supposed to behave. It's like all set in very molded, strongly molded stereotypes. So once you breaking those barriers are, I think, easier. I mean, not easier, sorry, they are the toughest things. But that's, I think, is the grassroots of the problem of this, whatever you're calling woman empowerment, so-called. Go back to what I just said earlier, because, it depends on both of us, on both men and women. I have seen instances where my colleagues have refused to take on a new woman recruit just because once she gets married in a year or two, it's a known fact that she will leave the job. I mean, most of them do. I have seen my young female colleagues, getting married and then leaving their jobs. And at that time, I found their behaviors pretty strange, because I thought that, I mean, how could marriage be a goal in somebody's life, irrespective of whether that person is a girl or a boy? I mean, for a boy, it never is almost. Marriage cannot be a goal. I mean, okay, it's a very important lifetime event in your life, so celebrate it for as long as you want to, but then come back and join to the work. Or, I mean, I don't understand this. I have seen this happening, which is why many male counterparts, they oppose taking women because they think that no, after they get married they'll either leave job or they'll say that no, I'll go home early because in my in-laws. So women are, again, culturally they are expected to balance the personal and professional life and be the perfect woman. No man is ever expected to have a balance between his professional and his personal life. If he's a successful if he has a successful career, he can do whatever in his personal life. I mean, nobody cares what time he comes home, whether he does grocery shopping for his house or not. These questions are never raised because he earns a fat amount of money. But nowadays, a lot of women are also earning a lot amount of money and they are taking, they are in their responsible posts and stuff like that, which also expects them to be in their offices for longer hours and stuff like that. Yet, they are expected to take care of their household, have everything in control. So it's a strange expectation also. I mean, why would a woman have to? I mean, why can't a woman and a man both come back from office to their homes, and why can't they just divide the jobs that are there, the household chores and stuff like that? Why can't a man just cook and the woman take some rest because she had a more stressful day? Or even I'll come to this point. We are so habituated with housewives. Where are the house husbands? Why can't there be house husbands? Why would house husbands be ridiculed by their male friends, by their female friends? Why would they be taken as something not manly enough? Why can't, I mean, one man can choose to leave his job, take a break and do household work for a year or so, raise his kids and then maybe go back. But imagine the amount of ridicule he'll have to, withstand. I mean, that's very funny. I found it like people were taking me easier. Both as boss or as colleague. I did not find that amount of gender discrimination in India. Maybe thankfully also because I worked at least on 2 occasions with women. Most of my employers have been women actually, traditionally. So I'm a feminist. I choose my bosses to be women. No. So in Calcutta it was, I would say, a little less, and most of my friends, I would say, I mean, who are in our age group, they were very good husbands also, were doing all household chores. Most of them were brilliant cooks. Some of the girls, in fact, they were the worst cooks I've ever met. And they would do their household chores. One couple was there who had a nice poster hung up on their wall saying, we both had housework. So both of them refused to do any housework. So it was us friends when we used to go there, we used to do their house and stuff. So, no, but in Bangladesh, I would say discrimination is there. I mean, both from client side and in your office, it happens. But I would say it's not very dangerously high, at least in media sector where we are working right now. I don't know about garments, frankly speaking. A lot of women I see who go to garments every day, but I believe they are the laborers. They are not even maybe supervisors. So what kind of authority or what kind of gender bias they face, I am not really sure about. But in media, apart from a little bit, exceptions are always there. But generally, I think, well, both the agencies I've worked, the first one was pretty liberal. The second one is more on the conservative side, but still, I wouldn't say it's a very dangerous amount of discrimination that I faced anyway. I'll appeal to all my colleagues who are parents in their houses. I'll appeal to them and all my friends also who are parents to raise their kids. I mean, let's start this work at least from our generation. Please, when you're raising your kids, don't discriminate or build stereotypes. Let your kids grow naturally. Don't put them in strongly molded stereotypes. You have sons and daughters. Let's start with our own next generation. Let's make them a discrimination-free generation. Let's at least start. Try.
I mean, in my eyes, the main problem starts regarding women empowerment is discriminations and acceptance of a woman being an authoritative figure. I mean, let's just say that from our childhood we grow up as in a mold. I mean, our parents tell us that as a guy you are to do this, as a girl you are to do this, as a girl, I mean, for example, a girl, I mean, how many parents would allow their teenage girls to go to a field and play with their guy friends? Zero. So what are you doing? You're restricting the girl. You are telling the girl that the parent is restricting the girl and telling her that there are things you can't do, there are things you shouldn't do. So when they grow up, a lot of them still have that idea in their head of how their parents made them grow up, that I shouldn't do this. I mean, maybe I shouldn't work, maybe I should take care of my family, maybe I shouldn't, or maybe in an office, even if in an authoritative figure, when you have peers of similar, let's say there are 3 people who are managers having a discussion and there is 2 guys and a girl. I have seen this myself, that the girl has a brilliant idea but she wouldn't speak up simply because she thinks that she her ideas would be ridiculed and would not be accepted. I mean, even if the guys are very accepting and they are very liberal and they would accept it, but the girl is too scared or too shy to speak up. So, I mean, these are the main barriers. I mean, if a girl wants to enforce her authority, I think it is possible for a girl to be an authority figure, but it's because of how they're brought up, how their parents tell them to live their life, that they don't want to present themselves as authority. I mean, a lot of girls do, but in our society, I mean, I would say 85% of the girls do not want to be in that authority position because they're scared to be there. Then comes the part of us accepting them as being an authority figure. I mean, that's just how we grew up. I mean, for example, I'll give an example of my family. I mean, when I grew up, I saw my father discussing with my mom every problem of their life, every decision, good, bad, every small and big decision. I mean, if my father had to go buy, let's say, a water purifier, he would ask my mom, which one do you want, which brand do you want? He didn't have to. It's not like my mom cared every time. It's not like my mom would get mad. But he respected her and he valued her enough that he wanted to hear her her suggestion. And I admired that. And I think because of how I saw that when I grew up, I mean, I have no problem working with authority figure. I mean, I have 2 bosses who are female and 1 boss who's male. And I value them equally and I do not discriminate them. But then I have colleagues who I see to go behind their back and they come up and say that, "Are, she's a girl, what does she know? I know better than her." Given that he doesn't even have half the work experience she does. So I think what girls should do is stamp their position, show the world that no, we can do it. My suggestion to females is speak up. If you have something in your mind, speak up.
And to the men?
Hear what they have to say. Trust me, they usually have better ideas than we do because we are always talking and they're hearing. So hear them once.
Government should step up. They should take more steps to bring the awareness to common people on women empowerment.
I just want to stay happy.
Women empowerment. Respect it. Don't abuse it or make fun of it. We need to work together to improve it.
The least we could do is respect it.
It's all about what you believe in.
Once we rise, there is no going back. So rise our